Hi, Phil here in the SMC Development Lab. Today I'd like to talk to you about the phenomenon of ESC shutting off. This is something that we've learned about over the past year. It's something we've done quite a bit of research into. With the introduction of black carpet at club racing level and also at big events, what we found is that every now and then, for no particular reason, a particular configuration of a car will start having a shutdown issue. This issue usually presents itself after a small tap or even a larger hit. The ESC will either shut off just after or during the hit and won't come back on until it is physically turned off and then turned back on again. Now, what we've determined is that the issue is due to a sensor fault. The car will pick up static electricity building up on the bottom of the car, and during the small tap it will be released, and that release is going to send energy down the very small, very unshielded sensor wire and into the ESC and cause a spike, if you like, in the signal current, in the sensor signal, and the ESC will go into a shutdown mode. What we found is the most effective solution. Well, there's a few different types of solutions. The simplest solution is to put a ground wire from the negative terminal of your ESC to something connected to your chassis. This has proved effective as a simple solution once or twice. I particularly at Cleveland in 2017, I managed to help one of my teammates stop his car from shutting off, and he could make the main due to that. Now, another thing that we've found is that as a real band-aid is static guard. You can spray the bottom of your car with static guard before the run, and that seems to have prevented issues that another one of our racers has had. But the most effective solution that we found is putting a ground wire somewhere between your negative terminal on your ESC again and the motor itself. Now, as it's the motor or the sensor board within the motor that's creating the spike in the signal to the ESC, if we create a ground path between the motor and the negative terminal on the ESC, we seem to eliminate the issue. Now, what you see here is a 1S ESC configured into a 12-scale car, and I've just mocked this up so that you can quickly see, but I've soldered a very small sensor wire that I've peeled off of this sensor cable, soldered it to the negative terminal, and now this can easily be installed on one of the main motor screws. You can use a sensor board screw, but I would really suggest that you use one of the main motor screws. Now, on SMC motors, the main motor screw comes from the sensor board side, which makes life really easy. You can either put a little eyelet on there, you can screw this screw in all the way, file it a little bit to create a clean area, and tack this on. This is something I've done personally in the past for a customer's car. Worked very well. Other people, what they've found is that if the screws come in from the other side, from the end mounting plate side, they can also either just wrap the wire around the screw and screw the screw in tight, put an eyelet on, or solder to the screw. This has also proved very effective. I had an oval racer on the weekend confirm to me that this was his solution, and he went from having a car that was shut down every time he touched the ice at an oval race to being able to run the whole weekend without any issues at all. I hope that explains a little bit of what we've been doing and why we've been doing it. If you have any other questions, you can please ask us at SMC. But I think that this is an effective solution. Maybe not the most elegant, but it's a very effective solution, and so far has proven itself to be the most effective at combating this problem. And I don't think that this is isolated to only SMC ESCs. We're fortunate with the SMCs that when they shut down, they turn back on again. Some other companies have had issues where once they shut off, it blows up the control board inside, or blows up. It damages the control board inside, and the ESC needs to be returned for a component replacement. We've been so lucky so far with the SMCs that this hasn't been an issue. They just need to be turned off and turned back on again, and they work. So put yourself on a nice little ground wire, and you won't have that issue at all. Thanks. Speak to you soon.